Hi, this is KV, and this is the new moon phase report for the solar eclipse. We've been waiting for this. That is set to arrive officially on May 9th in the evening, May 10th in some places. So this is why right now, all right, let me I'll recap on the energies that we have been feeling. One thing too, there's this weird thing of like too much, can't narrow things down. It's taking more time to focus on one thing, so you can't like see all these other things. There's something weird with that right now. I'm even having a hard time. This is the third time I have started this and stopped, and I never do that. I just start them and go. So this is like take 3, and I'm like, take 3? I don't believe in take 3. It's take 1. And now here I'm on 3, which now makes me nervous that it's going to be take 18 because I'm going to keep messing up. Okay, so there's a lot of competitive energy right now. There's a lot of wanting to race to the finish line energy right now. But if you remember, we are still in this time of thinking things through, planning things, dreaming things. This new moon energy is really going to bring in like this grounded, official steps to be taken into this new area in our life that we're wanting to expand and make better and add to. Because what's been happening over the past couple months is we've really been kind of looking back and like seeing like what's working, what's not working, what you need to change so that you can do your job more efficiently, so that you can have more free time. There's been a lot of like delegating where we are learning, hey, I need you to do this for me, I need you to do this for me, I need you to do that for me. You know, a lot more assertiveness in people knowing I need to ask for this, I need to put this out there that I need this. And it's happening, you know, fantastically quick. And I need some help too, so I'm still like, when's that part of my help coming? But even after I said it, I was like, I know it's coming soon because it's coming soon, right? Right. And all we have to do is really ask for it. So with this solar eclipse, it's so fresh and exciting and new, and you can finally start moving forward, where for so long you've been just kind of thinking through things and, you know, like I said, filling up your journal with massive ideas, but the actual energy, the gates aren't open yet. And, you know, I'm working on so many projects right now, it's crazy. But one of them is really kind of sharing with you how to honor the wait. I'm really big about waiting. I'm really big about being patient. I'm really big about sharing the message to people of, you know, when it's the right time. And you don't have to push down walls. You don't have to beat down doors. You don't have to manipulate anything to really make your things work. You just don't. You don't. And some people, you know, truthfully are built in a way where they are successful doing that, but the majority of people out there are not, you know, and they do have to have more of this like waiting for the right time, thinking of something, letting it nurture and grow before it happens. And one of the things with this rushy energy now of just wanting to do it now and not wanting to wait another minute, combining it with this competitive energy too, is having too many people race out there with something that's completely going to fail because it was rushed, because it was seen as, I gotta get this going, this opportunity is here now, you know. And whenever I do a birth chart book, at the end I always channel through a reading, and they're completely particular to the person. I have no idea what's gonna come out that I end up writing. So it's always, and I've just learned to trust in it because it'll be, you know, so detailed towards that person's life, and I have no idea, you know, what's really going on, but for some reason this message is coming through. And you know, they're very individual. It's not something that I can just put on each one, but there is a message that has especially been coming through so much in the past couple months, but just this message of like needing to slow down, needing to trust spirit more, needing to really know when it is time to leap, and not just because you feel like you have to make things happen, because we can't make things happen. Like, it just doesn't work that way. There is a specific timing for all of us and for the expression of whatever our gifts are. you know, and like I talk about it so much with this business here, and like it was 14 years ago as it created, but it really took all those years of me evolving, me being able to talk my talk, me learning more about this, and then you guys too, like we had to come on the same level so that you could really hear me, you know. And so there's just these really right timings, and it's so good if you can just like understand that sometimes you don't want to work, don't work, you know, go hang out, lay around, do nothing, like that's okay. You know, this all pushing yourself, it ends up creating these adults who later are so not happy with their life. The core of them does not really know happiness because they've been on this autopilot of make happen. This is the steps. This is what you need to do. And truthfully, anybody who is finding me, you know, the people even like that I peer into their birth charts, they're not like normal mainstream people, you know. So all of you are wanting to do something that's so different anyway. So how can you even think you can go get advice from anybody who already wrote a book on it 20 years ago, you know, marketing, like any of these things? It's just a whole new playing field. But if you can just wait for something that really like comes to you or grabs you or like is like, yeah, if you can wait for something like that, your whole experience of manifestation is going to be different. You know, and instead if you're like, okay, now what you do is you go spend $500 on advertising in this source, and then you have to jump through those kind of hoops, maybe 4 or 5 of them, and then you have to pay off this person, then you have to, I don't know, whatever, you know, all the games you play. You know, and then they just don't, it doesn't end up working out the way you want it to. And in my opinion, everything has changed after 2012. So there's just new rules here. And in my opinion, if you want to take advice from anyone, it's about really going slow and waiting and honoring your perfect timing in things. You know, just because you created this project that is so brilliant, and you just know everyone is going to love it, it doesn't mean you have to race to put it out tomorrow. I knew when I created my birth charts that everyone was going to want one. That's what I tell everyone. Who isn't going to want this? Everybody's going to want one, you know. And then like years and years of just handfuls a year of people wanting one. And I'm like, what is up, man? This is crazy. But now it's all shifting and everybody wants one, to the point that I have to close down my store. I still haven't opened it. I'm like, I can't open. I can't take anymore. No, I'm actually about to reopen it in a couple days. I think for the solar eclipse, it would be a good day to reopen. But just understand timing things. You know, yes, you have something brilliant, but it's not necessarily that you have to put it out right now. You know, and if it is, then your path will be effortless in a way. You know, if it is, then it's going to be like this door opens, that person shows up, this person wants to help you with that, There's a flow to it. And if it's more like you're just sitting in the background, drawing up your plans, thinking about what you want to do, and if it's all just coming from your brain telling you that this is the greatest thing and everyone's going to want it, like I was doing, if it's just your brain, it's not going to manifest in the correct way just yet. It has to be things showing up, like pulling you out of your space, saying, I really want this from you. Can you do something like this for me? Do you know anyone who's doing this? Or people going, hey, I do this now, I can help you do that. You know, so always wait for the signs like that. The signs will come. You know, it's the same thing how we know spring's coming now. All the flower trees and stuff are doing their little sprouts. You know, there's a natural order to things. And the best thing to do is still sit back. You are going to be able to take some more steps now, definitely. That's what the solar eclipse is going to be doing. But don't jump the gun. Don't race it. There's no racing. You don't need to compete with anybody, because nobody is going to be on your exact level or league with what you are sharing and what you're providing. You know, I'm also really big about not going out and comparing yourself and looking at what other people are doing too. I never do that, ever. Anytime I do, I lose all faith in myself. I've learned that one. And a lot of people have that in them. It's so easy for us to be insecure and think we're not good enough and we can't do something. So keep your blinders on if you have to, and just work on what you're doing, and knowing that no one can do it the way you do it, you know? And also, there doesn't have to be just one person doing it. We need several people. We don't want just one doctor. We don't just want one anything. I'm so stoked, I have 2 farmers. So I have 2 people I get to get my food from, which I have to pick one up in about an hour. But so yeah, you only need one partner. You can leave that one to one. But otherwise, we need lots of you doing these things, and if you're passionate about it, and if you love doing it, and if it lights you up, and if you know you got something special, then don't give up on it. And planetary things right now are going to kind of let you in on if it's time to take this out, if it's time to go more steps. But what's going to happen, they're just going to show up. It's going to be clear. It's going to be something like, I don't know, it could be something like you want to be doing this thing, and then you go out into town and someone in the grocery store is talking about how much they would love something like that behind you, you know, and that's a sign. That's going to be like, oh, I need to do this, you know. And with each step, you take that as a sign, you start moving in that direction, but don't go full speed ahead. You know, nothing is ever full speed ahead. I mean, it's marriages too. You don't go full speed ahead. It's go slow with this stuff, you know? And don't think you're on any timeline. You're not. And everything's going to be taken care of. It's going to show up when you need it to, you know? So really kind of relax into that truth. Okay, so let me talk about some things that were energetically going on. One thing is, our senses are awakened right now. And I told you about that with Taurus, we would be getting the sensualist energy. So what it's done is, and it's really cool because it's like everything, all your senses, it's almost like this time around Taurus is for you to, and spring, is for you to remember to use your senses more. You know, like with, you know, right now you're going to hear things that like you would never normally hear. And I was with my friend Dakota out walking one day, and she was the first person I noticed who had that. And she's like, I mean, she kept like freaking on things. Whoa, that's the snapping in the ground. Do you hear it? Yeah, I guess I do. You know, like I wouldn't even have heard those things. I'm like, what? The branches are breaking everywhere. And I'm like, it's just the wind. But so like your senses are really enlivened. Also smell. You'll like walk in a room and be like, oh, I just smelled my great grandma's kitchen, even though I've only been in there 10 times, but I know that smell. So there's smells like that coming back to you. But I think it's kind of cute that Taurus would be giving this sort of message to awaken you to your senses, you know, awaken you to like touch, you know, when you get into bed, you know, like arch your back and feel like the sheets against your back, or just like feel like, I am crazy in bed like that. Like I love to feel how amazing you pull the covers up, and like I savor all those moments of bed. Like bed is just the best. And I'm also someone who like I lay down and I'm asleep. I don't have any problem sleeping. But I wonder too if it's because I adore my sheets and my bedding so much, you know, and just like feeling like your legs under the sheets. So you tune into this energy. You know, one thing too is I'm also hearing along the lines of our senses, it goes with sight too. And I keep hearing about so many people going in to get their sight corrected right now, which I'm one of them. She feels so good to be. I'm always, what? I'm always like that. Huh? Okay. Hi. Because I just don't take care of things like that. Like go to the doctor, you know, like in a couple of years I'll go. So yeah, I needed them, but a lot of people are doing this too. So I keep hearing like, oh, I need to go get my eyes checked. So it's kind of adding to, we're focused on our senses right now, sensual touch, smelling, you know, smelling spring and stuff, and listening to the birds when they're, you know, in the morning. That's my favorite thing, waking up to the birds. So really kind of tune into those other things right now. So the senses, there was, you know, I wanted to talk a little bit about our thoughts and what you're thinking about. And what you're going to get from me over and over and over is I'm always trying to keep you on the hope vibe, to be hopeful for things, to be excited for things, to dream of awesome things happening. And a couple weeks ago, last week or something, I was kind of thinking of an analogy for it to help you understand. And because there is a really strong dark on this planet, and everybody knows about it. I've really been picking up on how threatened it is by the light, and how important it is that we don't sit here and use our energy, mental energy, to think about all these bad things happening, to think about the fear of I mean, there's a million fears. I mean, if you watch the news, you've got 30 fears right there packed into your aura. So like, you know, it's really important that you keep your thoughts. Like, my thoughts do not waver. Like, sometimes they do, I guess, but I snap back quickly. Like, then I'll like find something to giggle about, something to laugh about, something to smile about, something to feel appreciative about. I like to like go back in time a lot too, to see how everything has worked out, if I ever do get fearful of something in my moment. So if you could imagine, thinking fearful thoughts is basically like having just one window in your house that does not have screens on it, and it's mosquito season. So imagine that all the windows are open and all of them have screens, but one of them does not have screen if you're thinking negative thoughts. And basically, if you're sitting there thinking negative thoughts, you are a light in your house, and they are gonna find their way into you. Those mosquitoes are gonna get in that house and get to that light. I don't care if they have to go around the house, they will. They love to go around walls. Where's the hole? How do I get in? So if you're thinking negative thoughts, it's gonna be like you don't have a window with a screen on it in mosquito season. If you're thinking positive hope thoughts, your house is sealed. Like sealed. Nothing's going to get in. No negative can get in when you do stay on this hope vibe. And that's why when you're on the hope vibe, all these magical things happen in your life. You have all these awesome friends. You have all these awesome people who love you. You know, it's like being on the hope vibe. People want to be around you. People want to share space with you. So it's this whole different way of living life. It's what we're talking about when we talk about the world's dividing. There's one that lives in fear, and it has all these things magnetizing for them. And there's the ones that live in hope, and they have all these other things that magnetize for them. I assume that most people who find me are people living in the hope because it just feels better, dude. You know, it's not hard to figure that one out. We all spend much of our life living in the fear. I spent most of it living in the fear, so this is why I can know this. But anyway, so what happened was, right after I had this analogy, like all of a sudden, like I don't know how to explain it. It was really weird. I don't even know if I should talk about it, but I think I will, because I know there's people out there that can relate. But it was similar to, on the last reading, I forgot to tell you about the dark energy thing, but I wrote a little thing below it. But it was where all of a sudden, like, this dark energy would come down on you, and you would lose total faith in yourself. So like, you could have been like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I can do it, yeah! And then like this dark cloud came down, and then you were like, who am I fooling? I don't have any gifts, I'm nothing. And it wasn't staying long for people. It was just kind of dropping in and leaving. It wasn't even like the whole day. You were able to move out of that space, at least by the next day. But so this one was right after I had that analogy. I was so, and because I had to sit in it and do it to come up with the analogy, you know. But after I did it, I had this it was just like this dark energy came and like took the whole house over, and I was so like, oh my gosh, we can't win, we're gonna lose, the dark is gonna win, you know. And I had all these hopeless feelings. And then when I was going to bed, I looked down the hall and I felt like there was somebody in my house. Like, I've never felt that at all, ever. And I felt like there was somebody in my house, and I went to bed thinking I was gonna die. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, and there's nothing I can do about this. There's nothing I can do about it. And then like, I was sleeping, and I kept having like these visions, these people like outside my house, you know. And I don't live around people, so you don't have people around your house. And at the same time, my neighbor's dog, who hangs out all day here, he never goes home, except for at night. But he stayed there that night, and all night was racing around the house, barking at things. I mean, I'm sure it was just like mountain lions or bears and coyotes and stuff, but still he was like bark, 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 bark. So it kept waking me up, and then I'd wake up too, and I'd be like, oh my God, they're coming for me. I'm gonna die. And I've never had anything like that happen, ever. I've never connected to that kind of energy. I've never sensed something like that. I've never felt that thing where I was sure I was gonna die. They were gonna kill me. They want me dead, you know? And like, it was weird. I've never known anything like that before. And there was some other things that happened that night with it, but then in the next morning it was like completely gone. And I remember that next night too, I started to get scared before bed because I was like, oh my God, am I going to feel that thing in the house again, like it's going to want to kill me? I've never felt it again. Nothing. So it just came that one night, but it was just weird. It was just weird because I really thought I was going to die. Like this is it. So there's strange things like that, but understand, like, they're following your thoughts. So they're only going to follow your thoughts if you are thinking you're a loser, if you do think you're never going to do anything, amount to anything, if you do think you don't have any gifts. So watch your thoughts, and I'm going to talk about it a lot. I want to do like a little kind of class with people too. One on going slow and one on watching your thoughts. I mean, you can change your whole life if you follow those two things. Watching your thoughts and just not feeling like you have to rush to everything. Not feeling like you have to race out, compete, make this happen, da-da-da. Chill out, you know? This is Taurus too. So Taurus is going to really about, it's going to help us move forward on some things, but it's also going to help us go slower and kind of trust the earthy flows, the rhythms of the moon, of the earth, of everything having its perfect timing. So you will start to be able to take some grounded steps towards these things for sure, but they're more grounded, you know, and money too. Like, I'll talk about a lot of people for this. Like, if you want to start manifesting money now in your life, this is when you want to do it. This is when you want to focus on it. This is when you want to get your journal out there and just write on, like, you know, what you want to see yourself having more of in a year. You know, just really use this new moon energy to focus on stability, focus on self-love, loving your body, your talents and your gifts, bringing in money, and anything that's kind of connecting more with earth. Like if you're realizing I sit at the computer too much, you know, really kind of use your new moon wishes and affirmations to kind of focus on, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to connect with earth more. I'm going to stop spending frivolously on these things. I'm going to generate double my income. My friend's doing this right now. She's so crazy with that, but she's like, okay, I want to make 1,000 a week. Bam, it happened that next day, you know. She did it in like under a week, you know. So it's like, just name it and believe it and stop wavering and don't lose faith in yourself and know you can have anything. But if you follow that rule of just trusting the timing, it will come to you organically. The opportunities will come to you organically, and that's what you want. You want organic, right? You don't want GMO. GMO is forced and manipulated, you know? You don't want pesticide-ridden. That's forced and manipulated. You want organic. You want growing at its own natural pace. You know, I always use this thing with organic too and with going slow. You don't want to eat an avocado before it's done. Yuck! It's ruined that way. And you don't eat pasta before it's really done, you know? We have to learn to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Okay, was there anything else? So there was the thing with the sensual, there was the thing a little bit on the new moon, but we'll talk more on your individuals, you know that already. There was the thing with the darkness thing. There's competitive energy, there's frustration because you want it now. I think that's about it. And also just really scattered. Like hard to focus on what you need to focus on because it's like you'll notice that shopping and stuff too. You're like, whoa, I can't figure out what to look at. Ah, okay. So there's blah. But it's all just wanting you to chill out, sit back, smell the flowers, smell the air. Watch the birds, enjoy nature a little more. All right, so we're going to stop there. And now I'm going to go get on your individual readings. And you have a beautiful new moon. And remember too, this one right here is manifesting, and it's a 6-month, 5 more months even of your life is going to be focused on what you're wanting to create right now. So do not miss this opportunity to get clear on naming it. Write this